Today I want to talk about something that is deeply personal to me and that has been one of the biggest journeys of my life. And that is how to be in the world as a sensitive person. My whole life I thought that being loud and being charismatic and being funny was the thing to be. As a result, I tried to be like that. I tried to be extroverted, and at the same time was fighting all those introverted qualities, like quickly being overstimulated, often feeling tired, needing a lot of alone time. All of that felt like weakness. It felt something that I had to overcome to become a better person. So bad. It took me so long to realize that that way of being, that extroverted way of being, simply doesn't work for me. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the tools that I used to sort of navigate the world as a sensitive person. I'm going to share with you the tools I use outdoors, indoors. I'm going to share with you the golden question that helped me so much on this journey. And then finally, a time management system that really supports a sensitive nature. Before I get into the tools, I want to share with you a realization or a piece of knowledge that shifted everything for me in this journey. And that is, as an introverted person or as a sensitive person, you simply have a different brain from when you are extroverted. That was so big for me because that made me realize that I was trying to fight my biology. That costs so much energy to fight your nature. For introverted brains, it takes more time to process data. So that's why it might take you a little bit longer to respond to things. That's also why receiving a lot of data and stimulation at the same time can feel so overwhelming, because your brain has to process all of that. Also, our brain is more sensitive. So the things that feel sort of casual or even boring to a extroverted brain feel overwhelming or very strong and intense for an introverted brain. So for example, my partner is an extrovert. Things that feel perfect for me, that feel very entertaining and happy for me, can feel boring for him. That's when he starts feeling unsettled and he wants to go out, and he actually enjoys and needs a high amount of stimulation of people, of lights, of sounds to get to that same state of relaxation that I have when I sit on the couch. And for me to be in that situation where he feels at peace is deeply overstimulating. And it was so liberating for me to realize that we simply have different brains. So there is no argument there, or there is no comparison there, because we have this different nature. And the only thing we can do is design our life accordingly and respect the other person with their brain. And that created so much space in the relationship. So that was just a way that it manifested, this shift. And I hope that you can feel this too, that you stop comparing yourself with either extroverted friends or extroverted partners, thinking that you should be like them. But instead you go, no, they just have a different design. What I'm basically saying is stop fighting your nature and design your life accordingly. This will be so liberating. And if you cannot design your life accordingly, which you cannot do all the time, obviously, then you need the tools. That is what we're going to get into now. So one of the situations that can feel really overwhelming if you're sensitive or an introvert is to go outside, to go into the world, to be surrounded by a lot of people, a lot of sounds. So these are some tools that I started using to feel more comfortable in the world when I'm outside. The general theme of these tools when you're outside is to stay centered. How can you stay centered? How can you pull your energy back? One of the ways to do that is to visualize a golden egg around you. This is an epic thing to do when you're, for example, sitting in the bus, or you're at a festival and you just need a moment like. Another thing to do is to visualize how you pull your energy back into yourself, and using the breath to do that too. So as sensitive, introverted people, we can feel really open and sort of vulnerable to the outside world. What really helps to feel more strong and centered is to breathe yourself back into your body as if you are pulling all that energy into the core of your body. Another thing that helps with this is to really feel your feet. That naturally pulls your energy downwards, and that's what you want. What really helped me when I go to social situations like seeing friends or going to a bar is to set an intention. For my brain and for a lot of people with social anxiety, it really helps to have clarity around what the purpose is of that social situation. If there is none and it's just gonna be small talk with random people, it creates a lot of anxiety. But if I set an intention and I go, okay, I'm gonna go to this bar and I'm just gonna have an interesting conversation with one person. To set that intention creates clarity for myself. So those were my main tools of navigating the outside world. And now I want to talk a bit about what I do when I'm inside to navigate all these experiences of being a sensitive person. So the main thing, really, really, really important, is learning to self-regulate. You might have heard this a million times, or it's the first time you're hearing this, but what that means is to calm your nervous system. When you are a sensitive person, your nervous system gets fried really easily. There's a lot of tension in your body, you freeze up, or you get really stressed. You need to learn how to relax that nervous system and come back to a state of safety. There are many different ways to do this, and this is a very personal thing, what might help for you. But in general, things that really help are shaking, like trembling. That way you release that tension that you've been building the whole day, being in that uncomfortable space. Another thing that I've been doing a lot recently is taking breaks where I just lay down. If you take little breaks throughout the day, if it's available to you, to just lay down and let your body sink into the ground. It's that exhale in the body. This is especially powerful to do in a quiet, dark room. So like I said, our brains are sensitive to stimulation, so to sounds, to lights. So if you block that out and you minimize the stimuli, then your body can relax. Another thing that I like to do at home to regulate myself, which you can actually also do outdoors, is to breathe into the belly. So this is another way to ground yourself and come into the body. When you're outside, for me, when I'm outside, I notice myself really breathing like here. So to take a moment and relax the body and actually breathe into the belly and have a few big sighs or some sounds with the exhale, that already creates so much space and relaxation. And the final thing is journaling. You might have heard of morning pages from the book The Artist Way, which is where you just let your mind free flow, right? It's like a subconscious stream of thought that you brain dump on pages in your journal. So this is what is really helpful if you've been in an outdoor environment or an intense situation where there's so many thoughts racing through your mind and your mind's super busy, to just sort of word vomit everything onto the pages and get it all out so that there's space again in your mind. I want to share with you the golden question that I used a million times in my life to sort of navigate the world as a sensitive person. And that is to ask the anxiety or the stress in my body the simple question, what do you need to feel safe right now? And I found that the answers are often so incredibly simple and beautiful and sweet that I'm like, obviously, that makes sense. The final tool that I use to navigate life as a sensitive person is to find a time management system that has enough space for me to restore and recharge. So our world is very much about going every day, every moment you have to show up the same way, you have to be full power, full energy. And for us, for people like me, people like you probably, that doesn't work. We need time to recharge, we need time to be alone. So you need to find a time management system that includes that. I'm going to give you 3 options and you can try them out and see which one works for you. All these are sort of different time scales, and I'll start with the smallest one. This time management system is on a daily basis, which is where you have a morning dedicated to yourself, so that you already filled your own tank, that you already have this calm nervous system. that creates the foundation for you to step into the world the rest of the day. The second system, which I currently am using, is that you block one day a week that is just for relaxation, that is just for filling your well, restoring. The third way of managing your time is cyclical living. You can do this with your menstrual cycle, or you can use the moon cycle. What this means is that there are 4 seasons in each cycle, and the winter is the time of rest. So instead of having one day a week or a couple hours a day, you have a couple days a month or a couple days a cycle. So if you follow the moon, it's around the new moon that you take 1 or 2 days off where you just chill. And if you have a menstrual cycle, it's when you are bleeding. I want to finish this video with 3 of my favorite books that have helped me so much with this journey. And I wish that every introvert or every sensitive person would read these books. The first one is Quiet. The second one is How to Be Yourself. And the third one is The Gifts of Imperfection. So these books gave me so much courage and so much strength. And I hope that they will give that to you too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you feel inspired and empowered, and that you feel proud of being a sensitive, introverted person, because it's so fucking beautiful, and I am proud of it myself, and I want you to feel the same. So have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.